So, hello everyone, it's me, Prince Nick Joaquin from 1BS Bio A. So, now I am going to explain the basic structures of amide and lactam, thioester, acid halide, and acid anhydride, and also how it is determined based on IUPAC and common name. So, let us first discuss about the amide and lactam. So, what is amide? Amide is consists of a carbonyl group adjacent to the nitrogen atom bonded into two other groups. It's either hydrogen group or alkyl group. So, in naming amides, parent chain is in the one with the carbon double bonded to oxygen. So, as you name an amide, it should always end in the word amide. Yeah, amide. So, in other hydrocarbon chains attached to nitrogen are what we call the substituents. Its name should begins with the N dash. Yan, ganyan, N. So, let us proceed to our first sample. So, magbibigay ako ng sample. Ito, basic sample lamang. Ito. Ayan. So, ito. Paano ba natin ito i-name? So, first, let us count the number of carbon, which is 1 and 2. So, yung 2 carbon is associated with the name ethane. That is ethane. But in naming amide, kukunin natin itong E at magdadagdag tayo ng word na amide sa hulihan. So, magiging ethanamide. Ethanamide. Ayan, magiging ethanamide siya. Okay, next sample. Ito. Ayan. So, katulad rin ng ginawa natin dito sa una, ika-count natin yung number ng carbons niya, which is 1, 2, and 3. So, yung 3 carbons, it is what we call the propane. Propane. Tapos, kukunin natin yung E, at magdadagdag tayo ng amide. So, magiging propanamide. Propanamide. Ayun lang. Simple. So, itong pangatlong structure naman, ito. Yan. Ayan. And H2, CH3. So, as what you have noticed, mayroon na tayong methyl group dito. Ito. Yan. So, ngayon, paano ba natin ito i-name? So, yung first step natin ay katulad rin ito, yung magka-count din tayo ng number ng carbons. So, mayroon siyang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, there's 5 carbons. There are 5 carbons. So, yan ay matatawag nating pentane. Pentane. So, katulad ng ginawa natin dito, kukunin natin yung E, magdadagdag ng amide, magiging pentanamide. Pero, meron tayong methyl group dito, na kung saan ay naka-attach dito sa carbon 2. Dito. So, matatawag natin siyang 2, i-list natin 2 dash methyl pentanamide. Pentanamide. So, ayan. So, these 3 samples na pala, no, itong tatlong sample na ito, ay mga primary amide. Kasi mayroon lang isang carbon na naka-attach dito sa nitrogen. Ayan, mayroon lang isang carbon lang. Ayun. So, let us proceed to our next sample. So, itong sample na ito ay ganito. Ito yung itsura niya. So, ayan. Ito. So, ano bang uri ng or anong amide ba ito? Is it primary, secondary, or tertiary? So, it is a secondary amide kasi mayroon siyang dalawang carbon. Ito, dalawang carbon na naka-attach dito sa nitrogen. Okay, so paano ba natin ito i-name? So, ito yon. Ika-count natin yung number ng carbon niya. Which is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, magiging, ano siya? Magiging butanamide siya. Butanamide na yun siya. Katulad ng ginawa natin. So, magdidiretso na tayo. Butanamide na siya. Kasi butane siya. Yung 4 carbons is associated to butane. At magdadagdag tayo ng amide, maging butanamide. So, as what you have noticed, no, mayroon tayong dalawang methyl group, which is yung methyl na naka-attach dito sa pangatlong carbon at itong methyl na naka-attach dito sa nitrogen. So, ano bang matatawag natin sa mga methyl na iyan? Since this methyl is attached to the third carbon, matatawag natin siyang 3-methyl. Yan. At itong isa ay since na naka-attach siya sa nitrogen, matatawag natin siyang N-methyl. Yan. So, paano ba natin siya in-name? Ganito yon. As what I have read earlier, na that the other hydrocarbon chains attached to nitrogen are called the substituents. The name should begin with N. So, ganito yun. Ito ang naming niya. Mauuna ito, yung N. N, comma. At masusunod ay ito. Since it is attached to the third carbon, magiging 3. At since meron siyang dalawang methyl, magiging dimethyl. Ayan. At idadagdag natin itong butanamide. Magiging N3-dimethyl butanamide. Butanamide. Ganun yun. Okay, so let's proceed to our next sample. So I will draw the next sample here. So this is the next sample. Ayan. So what kind of amide is this? So, it is a tertiary amide kasi mayroong tatlong carbon na naka-attach sa nitrogen. Dito. 1, 2 dito, 2, and 3. So, there are 3 carbons na naka-attached sa nitrogen. So, now, paano natin ito i-name? So, first, let us identify the number of carbons, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Meron 6 carbons which is associated to the name hexane. Instead na magiging hexane siya, magiging hexanamide na siya. Hexanamide. Ayan. And as what you have noticed, mayroon tayong dalawang ethyl group na naka-attach dito sa nitrogen. Ito. So magiging N-ethyl yan. Yan. Ayan. So, paano ba natin yan in-name? So, ilalagay natin yung isang N dito. Then, comma. Then, isang N na naman. Dash. Since mayroon tayong dalawang ethyl, magiging diethyl. Yan. Diethyl. At, ilalagay natin itong hexanamide. Ito. Diethyl. Hexanamide. Magiging N diethyl hexanamide. Yan lang. So, yan yun. Yan yung amide. Yung mga sample natin sa amide. So, let us proceed to lactam. So, what is lactam? Lactam is a cyclic of amide. It uses Greek letters to its name, like alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. So, let us proceed to the samples. So, our first sample is this. Ayan. So, how do we name this lactam? So, in naming this lactam, we only use Greek letters. So, dapat what we call this, kasunod po sila. Kasunod in Ilonggo. Like this. We should name this like this. Alpha. Ayan. Beta, gamma, and delta. Ayan. Delta. So, ganun lang yun. So, the name of this lactam is delta lactam. Like this. Delta lactam. Ayan. Mas madali lang siya. Napakadali lang siya kasi ang lactam ay cyclic lang naman ng amide. So, ayun. So, our next sample is this one. Ayan. So, ganun pa rin yun. Dapat nakapasunod pa rin siya. Kung saan titigil yung pagbibilang natin, yung last na letter niya, yan yung pangalan niya. Like this. Alpha, beta, yan, beta, and gamma. So, yun. Gamma lang yung kanyang pangalan. Gamma lactam. Like this one. Gamma lactam. So, that's it. So, now, let us proceed to thioester. So, what is a thioester? So, it is a compound with the functional group RsCOR. Ito yan. RsCOR. So, they are analogous to carboxylate esters with the sulfur in the thioester playing the role of linking oxygen in the carboxylate ester. So, the oxygen in the ester is replaced by sulfur. The suffix, so in naming the thioester, the suffix should be thioate, like this. Thioate. Yan. Yan. Thioate. So, let us proceed to our sample. So, our sample, so, this is it. Our So, yan. Ito yung ating first sample. So, in naming this, we should always count the number of our carbon. But as what you have noticed, that this structure contains sulfur and a carbonyl group. Yan. So, let us count the number of carbon. Ay, kulang pa pala. Yan. Kulang pa ng oxygen. Yan. Let us count the carbon, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have 5 carbons, which is pentane. So in naming this, we should do this like this one. Pentane. Kukunin natin yung E, magdaragdag tayo ng thioate. Ayan. Thioate. Ayan. Thioate. Magdaragdag tayo ng thioate. So magiging pentan thioate. Maging pentan thioate. Yan yun. But as what you have noticed, mayroon tayong methyl group na naka-attach dito sa sulfur. So, magiging methyl pentan thioate. Yan. That's it. Okay, so let us proceed to acid halide. So what is acid halide? It is the functional group of an acyl halide or acid halide. It is an acyl group, an acyl group bonded to a halogen atom, like chlorine, bromine, and etc. So, in naming acid halide, we should always have the suffix oil or OYL. Oil. That. This one. Oil. So let us proceed to our sample. So this sample looks like this. Okay. CH3. So, as what you have noticed, there is a halogen atom. So, how do we name this? First, we should count the number of carbon. So, we have 1 and 2. So, we have 2. It is associated to the name ethane. It is an ethane. But in naming acid halide, we should add the suffix oil. 1. So, kukunin natin itong E. Mag-add tayo ng oil. Magiging ethanol. Ethanol siya. But, we have noticed that there is a bonded chlorine. Ito. So, i-add natin siya sa name. Magiging ethanol chloride. Yun lang. Ganun lang kadali. Okay, so let us proceed to our next sample. Yan. Here. This one looks like this. Lakihan natin para 1, 2. Yan. Meron tayong bromine dito. And CH3. Yan. Okay. So, in naming this one, we should count the number of carbon. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, it is pentane. Kukunan natin ng E at dadagdagan ng suffix na oil. Magiging pentane pentanoil. Okay, nawala yung flashlight. So, magiging pentanoil siya. But, meron tayong nakikitang methyl group na naka-attach dito sa third carbon. And, meron ding bromine. So, how do we name this one? Uunahin natin yung number na kung saan naka-attach yung methyl group. Yan, which is 3 dash. Lalagay natin yung methyl. Lagyan natin yung methyl. Ilalagay natin itong pentanoil. Ayan, pentanoil. Pentanoil. And itong bromine. Magiging bromide siya. Yan. 3-methyl pentanoil bromide. That's it. Okay. So, let us proceed to acid anhydride. So, what is an acid anhydride? A functional group characterized by two acyl groups joined by an oxygen atom. 2 carboxylic acid minus water molecule. So, we have here our first structure, our first sample. It looks like this. Ethanoic acid. Here. It is an ethanoic acid. This one. And this one. Plus. Also an ethanoic acid. So, dito, itong dalawang water molecule dito, mawawala ito at ang matitira lang ay itong oxygen. So, kapag in-add natin sila at i-minus yung water molecule, magiging ganito yan. Mukha niya. Oxygen. Yan. Carbon. H3. C. Carbon. Bonded to oxygen. Ay, parang natin. And CH3. Yan, bakit parang wala na tayong ano. Yan. Yan na lang. Yan. Ayan, magiging ganyan yan. At yung magiging pangalan niya will be ito. Ito ay isang ethanoic acid. At ito rin ay isang ethanoic acid. Kapag in-add natin yan silang dalawa, ito ay magiging isang ethanoic anhydride. Ayan. Yan yung ayupak name niya. Ayupak name. And yung common name niya naman is yung acetic anhydride. Ayan. So, by the way, ito pala sila is an symmetrical anhydride because they have the same carboxylic acid. Ayan. Okay, so we have now our next sample. Ito yon. Yan. Hindi ko na see. Yan. This one here is the ethanoic acid, and this one here is the propanoic acid. Kapag in-add natin silang dalawa, magiging ethanoic propanoic anhydride. Dapat mauna yung E kaysa sa P. Yung naka-alphabetical dapat siya. Okay? So that's all. Thank you for watching. Love, love, mwah.